Well, it's Saturday and work is far from my mind, so I decided to head down to a local farm I have permission to shoot over, as the farmer has been complaining about the amount of crows, jackdaws and magpies flying about the place, as the young birds have all fledged and have followed the parents down into the cattle sheds to feed in the meal that's mixed up in with the silage that's used to feed the cattle. So I've set up again in this little toilet that has a window open onto the cattle shed, and I've brought my spring powered HW97 with me to see if I can get one or two jackdaws or magpies. I'll just shut the door here, it makes life a lot easier. I've a bit of camouflage netting over the window to help cover me and cut down as much light as possible falling on me. Just make sure I've got a clear view of the shed in front of me, and we'll sit down and wait. It seems to be one of those days the weather can't decide what it wants to do. One minute it's thundery showers, next minute it's bright sunshine. But it's not long before a jackdaw appears, and I get the rifle up ready, on aim. Now there is a jackdaw there, but for some reason he decided to stop behind that beam. There he is there. Now, I stayed on aim for a while, hoping that the jackdaw would come out into better view for the camera. I can see him with the rifle, but after a while I decided I'd better take the shot before he clears off altogether. So when I was comfortable, I put the crosshairs on his heart and took the shot, dropping him into the pen below. I went out and left the bird because I didn't want any dead birds lying, which would put any incoming birds off as they drop down from the vents in the roof above me. Now there's no clear path back and forth here, so I have to climb through the pen. I'm fairly comfortable around these cattle. They're quite quiet and docile, but it's always worthwhile keeping your eye on them and keeping a distance from them. Don't get them into a corner, and if they look panicky, stay well away from them. After a while another, magpie this time, drops in through the vents in the roof, but again stops right behind that post. Of course the automatic focus in the camera isn't quite sure what I want to focus on, but after I get the rifle up and ready, the camera zooms back on the target. I put the crosshairs in the centre of his chest and take the shot. Now I thought I dropped the bird fairly clean, but I realised that he was still on his feet in the corner of the shed, so I took the rifle out and finished him off cleanly with a second shot. Again I retrieved him, as I said, I don't want any dead birds lying, as it'll only put off any other birds coming into the shed. That's if I don't break my neck climbing over that stile. You can see here that the two pellets both hit in the upper part of the chest and are both not even half an inch apart. But the first one didn't kill the bird cleanly, the second one did. I'm using 177 Bisley Magnums here, so maybe they're cutting clean through the birds at this short range, 15 to 20 yards. After a while another bird comes in, and again lands right behind that post. I don't know what it is about that perch, but it seems to be pretty favourable. But once he walks into range of the camera, he's away. Whether he's seen some movement or not, I don't know. Not long later, a couple of other jackdaws drop in, but as soon as I get the camera on them, they drop down into the feed ride where I can't see them. And after a good 5-10 minutes, one of the birds flies up on top of the railing again, but I'm pretty sure he saw some sort of movement and he's away, as I forgot to bring my gloves or my face veil with me today, so they might be able to see some sort of movement. Finally I get a bird that's a little more obliging. I'm pretty sure he's seen me as he turned round and looking straight at me, but he's not as wary as the couple of birds beforehand. Again, I aimed for the upper part of the chest and took the shot, only for the bird to fly out the door in a flurry of wings. But thankfully I heard the other birds outside crowing loudly, and when I looked out I found the bird lying stone dead, spread eagle, out in the yard. These are tough little birds, alright. After a bit more of a wait, another jackdaw drops in through the vents and lands on one of the trusses on the roof. I get the rifle up and ready for the shot. This time, with my confidence shook at taking hard shots, I decided to go for the headshot. Only to completely miss, lifting one or two grey feathers out from the bird's neck as the pellet went by. This bird dropped in to the right hand side of the pens. Again, I decided to go for a headshot. He looks a wee bit nervous, so I need to get the shot off fairly quick and drop this one fairly cleanly. After a while I go out and lift the bird. The cattle are all fairly well settled down now, which makes my job a lot easier, as when they're standing and moving around the place, it makes it very difficult to make sure you've got a clear and safe shot each time. Another jackdaw drops in through the vent in the roof and lands in the trusses. Of course, my attention is elsewhere, but I finally spot him and get on target. Well, the day's moved on, and I'm sure the wee woman's got the dinner ready for me at home, so I decided to pack up and call it a day. It's been fairly successful, even though there has been a few birds didn't drop as cleanly as I would have liked with the first shot. So I'll maybe look at using a different pellet, a hollow point or something that will maximise the knockdown power of the 177 HW97 I'm using. I think I used Bisley pest control last year with good success, so I'll have to hook them out again. But I've 5 jackdaws, 1 shot off camera and 1 magpie. And no, that's not a new rifle, I just managed to get myself a nice second hand stock for my HW97, which looks well.